Apple is going all out next month at their big September event with something we've never seen before, the iPhone 15 Ultra, which is a huge twist in the rumor mill, as I'll explain in this video. But if the Ultra naming turns out to be true, it's gonna mean a couple of very important things, both good and unfortunately bad. So getting right into it, when last year's iPhone 14 lineup came out, Mark Gurman instantly leaked that the iPhone 15 lineup would include a brand new rebranded Ultra model replacing the Pro Max. However, a short while after that, he updated us on the leaks and said that Apple was apparently delaying the Ultra until the 16 lineup. But now, we just got a new leak from Apple insiders Andrew O'Hara claiming that Apple will indeed use the iPhone 15 Ultra title for the larger Pro phone, according to multiple sources, which is a huge leak. So based on that, I'm gonna go through 8 major changes in terms of how the current leaks can change if we do in fact get an Ultra phone, because with an Ultra, a whole lot of things can finally make more sense. Starting with change number 1, we have the periscope telephoto zoom camera, which we've known for a while was only coming to the larger Pro model and not the smaller one, but now with the rumors of the Ultra brand change, it finally makes more sense from a marketing perspective. To be honest, the Pro Max branding just doesn't make sense because on the Max side, we have both the M2 Pro and the M3 Max chips, so why combine both of those brand names together for the iPhone's branding? It just gets really confusing. On top of that, with the iPhone 12 lineup, the Pro Max actually had upgraded features compared to the regular Pro, including a 2.5x zoom camera compared to 2x and sensor shift optical image stabilization, which worked incredibly well, but most consumers had no idea that there was any difference at all. So if Apple finally rebrands the Pro Max model into the new Ultra, it'll be clear to consumers that it's gotta have some bonus features, and the biggest one is gonna be the periscope zoom lens, which I believe will actually be variable from around 3x to 6x zoom with actual lenses that move inside of that new camera. And then this Ultra branding move by Apple will be very helpful to them going into the future because they can introduce the best camera features on the Ultra first and then bring them down to the Pro a year later. Like for example, we currently have a leak of a new 48 megapixel ultra wide camera coming to the iPhone 16 lineup next year, so maybe it'll come to the Ultra first. And now let's get into number 2, which is the titanium metal chassis. Even before all the titanium metal leaks started coming out earlier this year, as soon as Mark Gurman mentioned the Ultra branding, everyone started speculating about a new titanium metal model with awesome looking, unique renders like this one showing off a cool new design that was inspired by the new Apple Watch Ultra. And since Apple gave a titanium finish to that new Ultra model, maybe Apple would do the same thing for the iPhone 15 Ultra with an exclusive titanium finish that you can't get on any other model, with the regular Pro still sticking with stainless steel. Now I know the recent rumors have pointed to both the Pro and Pro Max getting titanium regardless of the size, but I personally think it would have made sense for Apple to only give titanium to the Ultra to make it more exclusive and unique, matching the Ultra branding a lot better. And of course, it would push more people to buy the most expensive model, which would raise Apple's profits and average sale price, which they've been trying to do for a long time. Now getting into change number 3, this is the big one that I'm personally very hopeful about, and that is Thunderbolt 4. We all know by now that Apple's entire iPhone 15 lineup is switching to USB-C, but what we aren't sure about is whether it'll be a regular USB 3.2 port or if they'll go with Thunderbolt. And now, with rumors of the Ultra branding coming to the iPhone, this finally wraps it all up and makes perfect sense from a marketing perspective. Apple can give the Ultra model a Thunderbolt 4 port, being 80 times faster than the current Lightning port in terms of transfer speeds, sitting at 40 gigabits per second compared to 480 megabits per second. However, the regular iPhone 15 Pro model can be somewhere in the middle at around 5 to 10 gigabits per second, so only the Ultra will get the fastest speed, which makes a lot of sense. But on top of that, we had further rumors from reliable sources that Apple was planning specific features in iOS 17 that would be hidden until the launch of the iPhone 15 lineup, including a new Thunderbolt feature that would give a live 4K camera feed to an external monitor for live viewing. So hopefully that's how we would get a Thunderbolt port on the 15 lineup, being exclusive to the Ultra model. Now, number 4 is actually a simple one, but it makes perfect sense. Apple could give the Ultra model the best speaker system, especially since it would have the most internal space, at least compared to the Pro model. And that's another way they could differentiate the two models. Number 5 is a big one that people have been asking for years. And while there wasn't a technical limitation to this, Apple might just give it to us to sweeten the deal on the Ultra, and that's the ability to multitask with 2 different apps open at the same time. A couple of years ago, the plus-sized iPhone models could actually be used in landscape mode with certain apps, but Apple completely took that away, so they could be waiting to reintroduce that feature with the Ultra model, and that would be another reason to get one. And moving on to number 6, this one could be totally related to the multitasking feature, and that's an upgrade in terms of RAM. We've recently seen some mixed rumors from sources, with some claiming that the new A17 Bionic chip would come with 8 gigs of RAM, but then Unknowns21 came out and said it would only have 6, which was very confusing. Well, what if Apple decides to give 8 gigabytes exclusively to the Ultra model to help enable that multitasking feature and give it a performance boost, while only giving 8 gigs of RAM to the regular Pro model? That could make perfect sense. And now getting into major change number 7, this is where it gets a little bit disappointing. Last month, we started getting rumors that Apple would be raising the price of the 15 Pro Max model, specifically from tech analyst Jeff Pu and others who claimed it could go up by $200. So my thought was that maybe Apple is only planning to raise the price of the biggest iPhone model now that they're considering the Ultra branding, and they're gonna hide the price increase behind that new name with the extra bonus features. And to be completely honest, it could actually work quite well, because when the first iPhone 11 Pro came out, people paid the extra cash just because they wanted the Pro name for that branding alone. So maybe the same thing's gonna happen with the Ultra, especially since it worked quite well for Samsung and their Ultra models. But thankfully, change number 8 is one that's gonna help soften the price increase blow, and that's the rumors of Apple giving the Pro models higher base storage up to 256 gigabytes, going as high as 2 terabytes. So what if Apple decides to do this for the Ultra model only, while keeping the Pro at the same 128 gigs of storage? That by itself could easily explain the price increase and add a lot of value when paying a higher price, because right now you have to pay $100 to upgrade from 128 to 256, so it makes perfect sense for Apple to do that. So with all that said, hopefully you enjoyed this video and learned something new, and if you did, go ahead and subscribe above and check out one of those 2 videos right over there. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.